finished this session, this briefing of the Security Council, where I had an opportunity to update the members on the situation at the plant, and in particular, as I prepare to return to Zaporizhia within the next 10 days or so. I will be there, then also in Kiev and in Russia. So if you have any specific question, yes?
Question.
Yeah.
Thank you for the briefing. It's Pamela Falk from CBS News. The question
Okay, so we just finished this session, this briefing of the Security Council, where I had an opportunity to update the members on the situation at the plant, and in particular, as I prepare to return to Zaporizhia within the next 10 days or so. I will be there, then also in Kiev and in Russia. So if you have any specific question, yes?
Question.
Yeah.
Thank you for the briefing. It's Pamela Falk from CBS News. The question is, the last advisory you put out, which was last week,
Yes.
had Zaporizhia with the power out, which was, I think, the 8th time.
The 8th time, yes.
Is it still out? And how worried are you about the fact that there is not redundancy during all these outages, and who's doing it?
Well, you're absolutely right. This is a recurring issue. It's the 8th time we lose external power. And the problem with losing external power is that you lose capacity to cool down the reactors. And then you have to use emergency diesel generators, and this has happened many times during this war. So this last time did not last for too long. We had longer blackouts, which were much more concerning than this one. So now this was shorter, but it continues to occur. It is very difficult, going to the other point, to identify the exact reason of each one of those, because some of them may be caused by events taking place hundreds of kilometers away from the plants, which may be deliberate. I'm not saying it's just an unwitting result. The forces in place know very well which are the lines feeding the plant, and at this point, in normal times, they used to have 6 high voltage lines and more or less the exact number of 330 kilowatt lines. Now we are operating with only 2, at sometimes 1. So we are walking on very, very thin ice.
And can you just repeat what you said in the past, because it hasn't been an issue for a few weeks, what the implications of a meltdown at Zaporizhia would be?
Well, a meltdown is basically the fact that a reactor loses cooling, and of course, given the high in the hundreds of degrees temperature, then of course there is a degradation of the protective systems of the reactor, and you have dissemination in the atmosphere of radioactive material. This is what happened in Chernobyl. In Chernobyl, it was compounded with an explosion, or in the case of Fukushima, where after the earthquake, you had the tsunami, and then the emergency diesel generators disappeared, and then there was this meltdown. So we have to avoid this, and this is why I'm putting so much emphasis on this issue of the external power that sometimes seem to be a bit strange for people who are not familiar with the technical aspects.
You said you were going back before the audio
Yes.
kicked in. When will you be going?
In 10 days.
And all of the inspectors and the cameras are on
To where, you mean?
in Zaporizhia?
In Zaporizhia, yes, the teams are there. I'm going to be leading another rotation. It will be the 16th rotation of personnel. So I go with a number of experts. The number of experts that are there return, but most importantly, what I will be doing is I will be talking to the management there, the Russian management of the plant. I will be seeing how the issue of the water is being dealt with. You remember that last summer there was the destruction of the Novakarkovka Dam, and that affected the capacity of the plant to take water from the Dnieper, from the river, which is very low now to do that operation. And then now they are drilling for water around the perimeter of the plant. So this is a very delicate operation, and I have to see. I also need to ascertain the longer-term plans for the plant. Are they going to attempt to restart one or more reactors, and why and how? And these are issues that have profound nuclear safety implications. So I'm going to do that. After that trip, I will go to Russia. So to have the also political on the one hand and technical dialogue. So the agency, as you can see, continues to engage with both as it should be, in spite of the difficulties and the sensitivity of doing that in these days. Thank you.
Mr. Grossi, thank you.
Hello.
Edith Lederer from the Associated Press. Always nice to see you. We're approaching the second
Yes.
anniversary of this war. How concerned are you at the possible escalation that could have serious impacts, nuclear impact, because Zaporizhia is only one of Ukraine's many nuclear power plants?
Well, there is a concern, and thanks for reminding us that there are several. Of course, this one is in occupied territory, and it's on the front line. So this makes for the uniqueness of the situation. But I have teams at every single facility, in Rivne, South Ukraine, Melnitsky, and of course Chernobyl, and of course Zaporizhia. And the concern is as high as the first day, because I was just telling the members of the council that in this situation you cannot say, well, there is a trend that things are stabilizing somehow, things are improving. I mean, you can have a good week and then you have a blackout. You can have a good week and then a drone, aims at the plant. So it is an ongoing it is an ongoing situation which will only be in a better place when all of this stops. So the important thing, and this is another, if you allow me, another sort of general reflection that I have, is that this council, and you're following it every day, is dealing with so many crises and so many problems. The difference, I would say, on this one is that the membership there is in agreement on the nature of the problem that we have and on the support they are giving to the IAEA to do its work, which is, of course, not sufficient to solve the problem, but it's not bad at all when we see what is happening elsewhere.
Hi. Gabriel Elizondo from Al Jazeera English. Thank you for the briefing.
Yes.
Can you give us any details of, are you getting the cooperation that you need from both the Russian and the Ukrainian authorities on this issue?
Yes, I would say by and large, yes. Of course, there are moments of frustration, mine and theirs, I guess, because sometimes when I say things that they don't appreciate, or they would prefer me to say differently, there is tension there, but this is a little bit what the IAEA is all about. And this happens to us when it comes to Iran, when it comes to the DPRK. People sometimes do not appreciate what we have to say, but we have to say it anyways. So, but the engagement continues. As you can see, I'm heading now to Kyiv, then I'm heading back to Moscow, and I think this is what we need. We need diplomacy, and we need diplomacy that works. This is what I'm trying to do.
Last question
Yes.
from me, I'm sorry. On a
Yes.
scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most dangerous and 1 being secure, what would you rank Zaporizhia right now?
Well, as I was telling her just a minute ago, I think that there are days where you are near 10, and there are days that nothing seems to happen. And the problem is this, the complete uncertainty, because this is a war. All right? I thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.